So my name is Stephen. I'm an English teacher. I'm from Dublin in Ireland, and I've been teaching English for more or less 10 years now. I spent 1 year in Italy teaching English, and for the last 8 years I've been in English in Dublin, here in the city centre in Dublin, and for the last 4 or 5 years now I've been working on the Cambridge exams, the first certificate and the CAE, and also the IELTS exam. And I've also qualified as a Cambridge speaking examiner. In my opinion, studying for an exam, okay, exams are not everything, really it is just a piece of paper, but having an exam in 6 months' time or 4 months, it's a target, it's a motivation. It can inspire you to study more. It can give you a focus, which I think is very valuable. Also, when you've paid money for an exam, and they're expensive exams, if you pay money, you're going to be much more motivated than if you don't. Another good reason is that generally, if you're studying in a class with other people who are studying for exams, it's quite nice because you have this bond, this connection with the other people. Sometimes, that's a nervous energy or whatever, but you're in the same boat, so I think it increases the atmosphere of the class. Another reason is obviously the piece of paper. I mean, if you come to Ireland and you're here for 1 year, would you like to go back with, a lot of stories about, the good time that you had? Perfect, that's amazing. But you could also have that and a piece of paper to show, look, I had a good time in Ireland and I used my time to receive an extra qualification. Yeah, I think those would be the main reasons. It's really just to motivate, to inspire you, and even if you don't pass the exam or you don't get the mark you wanted, your English will have improved much more than if you were studying for no other reason than just, because you wanted to. I think the exam, sometimes the fear of the exam is what's going to make you study. When that fear is gone, the television becomes much more, tempting, and your friends and everything else like that. So the fear kind of is a good motivation in a sense.
And if a student chose to come to your IELTS preparation class, what can they expect to have in the 3 hours per day that they get?
Okay. Well, pretty much my idea is for an IELTS class, as I said before, it's practice. It's all about practice. So for example, in my class, I try to do an awful lot of practice on writing. So I like to divide up my 3 hours between writing, the reading section, the speaking section, and the listening section. So every day we're looking at writing. How can we improve it? What can we do? Is there any tricks we can use to move from a 6 to a 6.5? Having a look at the graphs, the bar chart, the line chart, the tables. How do we choose the information we want? What vocabulary can we use? Having a look at the writing part too. What phrases are nice for introductions? How do we make a conclusion? How do we develop our ideas in part one? How many ideas do we need? Having a look at all these questions and having a look at it together, and then basically practicing that, using that. We do writing competitions every week to see, how much it's coming together. With the reading section, again, we're looking at the different types of question that will come up in the exam. How do you handle that question? What do you look for? I'm looking at the students thinking, well, okay, it took this person 25 minutes to do the task. How can I reduce that time to 20? How can we get it down to 18, which, is probably the target? In the speaking test, we're looking at how can we prepare ourselves for the part 2, where we have to speak for 2 minutes. How can we develop our ideas? How can we get ideas about subjects that maybe we don't know much about? Often in the IELTS you'll have to talk about a subject you don't have many opinions about. We had one student who had to talk about gardens, and how do you get opinions about gardens? How do you explain yourself when you don't know anything? Things like this. So really, with the class, what we're trying to do is to try and show you what the exam looks like, show you how to do better in the exam, and cover everything that you will expect in the exam, so that at the very least, when you take your exam, nothing will surprise you. Everything that comes up, you will have seen before 100 times. You will expect it. You will know what's coming, and you'll be able to hopefully, do the best that you can do in the IELTS.